7 Spice Life. I'm Lisa, and today we are making my take on barbacoa. I'm not going to stray too far off what barbacoa should taste. I want you to feel like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But I also want to give it my little Assyrian flair to it by incorporating 7 spices and some dried lime. I think it's really going to take this to a whole unique level or different level and give you something you crave and also something new. So let's check it out. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so I can continue to bring you awesome content. What do we need? I have 2 pounds of beef, and here I'm using the less expensive cuts of beef like chuck roast or shoulder or something that shreds really easily and can slow cook over time. That's what you're looking for, which is great right now because meat prices are on the rise due to this pandemic, so why not make a kind of cut of beef that can really stretch your pockets. I've got chipotle peppers thawing right now. We've got some garlic, and we're gonna, the juice of 1 or 2 limes, whatever you have is fine. 1 small onion. We have chile negro, I think it's pasilla, I can't remember, but we're gonna rehydrate one of these. Beef broth, sherry vinegar, regular vinegar will do as well. I just think sherry vinegar lends to red meat really well. Cumin, coriander, 7 spice baharat, oregano, bay leaves, and noomi, which is dried lemon and lime. These are going to be excellent with this, along with the 7 spice mix. So let me throw my hair up, roll up my sleeves, and get ready to rock this barbacoa. I've got a lot going on here, but the first thing I want to do is get my chile negro rehydrated. So I'm pouring boiling water right on top of it, and I'm going to let it sit while we prep. I just want it soft enough so that when we process our marinade mixture, it'll blend right up. That's going on, and I've juiced my lime. And while that's rehydrating, I want to talk about different ways to cook this barbacoa. So you can see here, I've got a cast iron pot, and this is a 4-quart by Marquette Castings, and I am doing a giveaway on Instagram, so check that out, you're gonna love it. The reason why I'm gonna cook in this is because you can see that this has these little divots or points to it, and that allows steam to collect and fall back into the pot. A true barbacoa is put into the ground, it comes out steamed and beautifully tender. But this kind of mimics that, and you could get all fancy. There is a way to steam truly in the pot, but I want to show you how to cook this in its juices because it's quick and easy. You could alternatively cook on high in a crock pot for 4 hours or low and slow, which is, if you're going to do crock pot, go low and slow for 6 hours and you'll have fall apart beef that way too. I just like this because I can sear and cook all in about 3.5 hours and it's finished. So in my cast iron pot, this recipe is gonna go. I'll set that aside. And again, while this is rehydrating, I'm gonna start cutting up my beef into about 2-inch squares or chunks, and I've gone ahead and trimmed most of the fat, but if there's extra fat here, we're going to trim it off as well. You don't have to go crazy with making the sizes like perfect and uniform because it's going to be shredded anyway. We just want them roughly uniform so they all cook at approximately the same amount of time. And I'm also letting it come to room temperature. Leave it while you're making your marinade mixture, that's fine too. We're going to sear it first. So I'm gonna make the marinade and then we are going to sear our meat and then start the cooking process, and then you just set it and forget it. I've got my pot heating up on medium. I wanna get it nice and heated thoroughly, and I'm drying this meat while it comes to room temperature because I want to get a really beautiful golden sear on it on all sides. So the drier the meat is when it goes in the pot, the more golden and caramelization you're going to get. We have our food processor here, and in it I'm going to put the juice of 2 limes, a 1/4 cup of sherry, 1 cup of beef broth, the chipotle pepper, and it's about 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin, and it goes 1 tablespoon of baharat or 7 spices, a teaspoon of coriander. We're gonna save the noomi and I'll show you what to do with that along with the bay leaves, a teaspoon of oregano. We're gonna do 3 cloves of garlic. So, you see that green sprout? You wanna pull that out because that will make your food bitter. 3 to 4 cloves of garlic. And here is my rehydrated chile negro, and I'm gonna pull out the stem with the seeds, and it's okay if a few seeds go into your mix, but you can also kind of just rinse it off in the rehydrated water. Careful, it's hot. I don't have sense in my fingertips, so that goes in there, and we are going to mix that all up. Okay, that should do it. That smells really amazing. I can't wait to put this into our pot. The last thing I'm going to do is quarter my onion, and I have these noomi, these dried limes and lemons, and I'm just carefully going to poke some holes into them. Just be very careful when you're poking holes. You don't want to stab yourself in the finger. Also, if you don't poke holes in them, you're gonna have them float on top of the liquid, and then that flavor is never going to soak up into your recipe. So you want to poke holes so that they can absorb the liquid and then release the flavor of the noomi. Okay, so that's all set. Let's go to the stovetop and start cooking. Here's what's happening. We're going to put some salt and pepper all over our pieces of beef. And I have about a teaspoon of kosher salt here, but I'm not going to necessarily use it all. I just want to generously season with kosher salt right before it goes in the pot. Don't do it beforehand. You won't get a good sear. You just coat this lightly with some olive oil, and then I'm going to place right in there and not touch it. Feel free to cook in batches. You don't want to overcrowd your pan. So I just removed the already brown pieces, and now the last 2 remaining pieces are going into my pot. While my last 2 pieces are browning, I'm going to throw my onion in and just get it nice and charred up a bit. We're going to deglaze the pot with our marinade, and you can hear that sizzle. Get all those crusty bits off the bottom of this pan. So swirl it all around. Now that we've got our simmering marinade, we're going to nestle all the beef into the pot, including all the juices that have collected when you were searing. Turn the heat down all the way to low. As soon as you've reduced the heat, go ahead and add your lime. Get them nice and saturated. And then you'll add your 3 bay leaves, 1, 2, 3. And throw that cover on and just forget it. About 3 hours or until your meat is super, super tender, falling apart, and ready to be shredded with a fork very easily.